Good evening. This is Danny Lewis with Virginia Preps here with Coach Justin Keeler, the recently named head coach of the Colonial Heights Colonials. How are you, Coach?
I'm good. How you been doing?
Good, good, good. Can't complain. Kind of itching for football season, I'm sure, like you are. But you've got a lot of work to do in a short amount of time.
Yes. I was telling somebody the other day, you have so many things off your list that you're not gonna, and you feel like behind because I just got hired and we're starting on the 29th of July, so it's kind of scares you a little bit. I think because I have a little experience, I kind of just focus on the most important things and know that the other things will get taken care of when they get taken care of, and they'll get crossed off the list. Um, you know, to me, the most important thing for this job at Colonial Heights is getting players out. I want to try to field three full teams of middle school, JV, and varsity. And that's kind of my number one objective. And they didn't have a JV team last year, and there wasn't middle school football really around in that area. I don't think anybody played middle school football in their little district last year. So that's kind of a major objective for me in the summer is getting players out. So
Most definitely, most definitely. What about this job interested you to get you to come out and apply for it? Obviously, you've been an assistant for a few years now. Why was this job the move for you at this point?
um, so I was a head coach in Amelia from 2015 to 2017. I enjoyed that experience, and you know I kind of was looking forward to doing that again. Um, you know, and I look for I'm probably different maybe than some other people when I look for jobs. I kind of like looking for jobs that maybe a rebuild or something of that nature. I like building programs and you know instilling a culture and creating core values and all that stuff really excites me. So and I had some information about this program. My dad, when I was in college, my dad became a principal there. I didn't have any ties per se myself to the school, but my dad was a principal there when I was in college for and when I started working. So he's probably there about 7, 8 years, and he really enjoyed it there. He really liked the people, and I remember going to visit him. He was always happy when he was in the building, so that always stuck with me when the job came open. Um, and I knew familiar with him because of being in the district. So I'm from Dinwiddie, so we played him when I was in high school, and coaching in Prince George for many years. We played him in the district, so I'm familiar with the Central District football, and you know I saw the job that Coach Krupp had done in the weight room with the players, and that their athletes are getting faster, bigger, and stronger. They look different this year. I mean, a good-looking group of kids, um, and I really like the challenge of it. I think some challenge is something that invigorates us from time to time, and building a program that maybe hasn't had the success they wanted to is a challenge, but it's something that really excites me. It kind of gets me going, and I'm a person that needs something to challenge me. It kind of that's just how I operate. So, um, and this is a great challenge, but it's also a great opportunity the way I look at it.
Well, speaking of challenges, obviously this is a bit of a challenging um, job to take. Obviously, Colonial Heights has had a few lean seasons. There's been a little bit of a coaching turnover over the last few seasons, not a lot of continuity. How do you go about changing that? You say you like rebuilding a program. How do you go into that? And what's your plan?
Well, since this is my second time around, I think when it's your second time around, you have a clear understanding of your vision of running a program. You know, probably like a lot of coaches, your first time around, you have so many ideas running through your head that you can't see straight because you're so excited about it. And so I took the time after I was done in Amelia because I knew I would get that I felt I'd get that opportunity again. And I kind of went through what worked and what didn't work, or maybe I wanted to improve on, and kind of said about what I would do if I had a chance again the second time. And so I have a clear understanding of how I want to run a program and types of coaches I want to coach with. And I've always had a clear understanding from a football scheme standpoint, but more so just how you want to run a day in, day out program, and instilling those values and making sure that the players understand what you're about, what are we going to be about in every area facet of football. So, I guess with age comes a little bit more wisdom with that. And then, so I have a clear understanding of how I want to do things. Now, whether that's right or wrong, we'll find out. But, I'm pretty confident in how I want to do it. And we had success in Million. That probably helped some with that confidence. And, but, you know, I'm lucky to have a good mentor and Coach Carroll when I was at Prince George. And I thought he did a great job running a football program year round. And I got a lot of good advice from him of what to do when running a program. And so a lot of that stuff that we've done is stuff we learned from Coach Carroll. So I appreciate the advice he's kind of given me throughout my career on that.
Can you elaborate at all on what those little things are that you picked up on under Coach Carroll at Prince George, and what you picked up just in your previous stint at Amelia?
Well, with Coach Carroll, I think one of the most important things we ever did was parent meetings. And I'm not talking about like just meeting with parents all at once. We would go into each player's home and meet with the player and their family individually. And you would have as many as 60 parent meetings starting in March and running all the way through June or July. And it was important because it helped us get to know the players, get to know their families, explain to the parents that what our program is about, but also listen to the players and their background and their story. And it really helped create more meaningful relationships. And so it's something that when I went to Amelia, it's one of the first things I did was do those parent meetings. And I thought it helped get me buy-in from the program as somebody who was coming in outside. As far as my dogs are here having a wrestling match. I apologize to hear this.
No worries.
As far as at Amelia, what I learned, I think I had confidence in what, schemes and stuff that our schemes worked. And so we had some success, we had two quarterbacks throw for over 2,000 yards, two different ones. And we were leading the Richmond area in passing, and that was exciting, scoring points. So we we learned that our system can work at other places. It gave me a lot of confidence, and also, gave me confidence that I could lead a team and, from a day-to-day messaging, just things like that. So you learn what works and what doesn't, whether it be, hold on one second here. We'll let these dogs out. Yeah. I apologize, Danny.
No worries, Coach. I understand what home life is like.
Yes, we got 10 acres out here in Amelia, and they decided they were gonna have a wrestling match in about a closet. So I made them go outside. So when I was in Amelia, just little things that I learned that I liked, that I thought worked, simple things like even meeting with the team each day and setting the agenda for 5 to 10 minutes, I found to be really important. So it wasn't a whole lot of big things. It's probably little things that you like, hey, this worked. And then maybe I would do this different a second time around. So, you kind of evaluate yourself honestly, and then you ask people who are around you and try to get their feedback and, you know, honest feedback and help you grow as a coach. So,
How do you, we spoke about the lean years and obviously the coaching turnover of recent years. How do you get your message across to the players to get them to buy in to you, considering here comes another new coach?
I think you have to be consistent in your message. I try not to focus on, and this is a life lesson for me with dealing with young people. I think you need to trust my actions and I will trust your actions. You shouldn't be trusting my words when I tell you I'm going to be here forever or something like that. I'm not that I would say that, but the point is I want them, I'm going to earn their trust and I want to earn it through actions, just like you'll earn my trust through actions. And that's kind of how I want to approach it with the players. Um, so, you know, I'm looking for somewhere to stay long term. I have two young sons in sixth and fourth grade, and I would like to coach them. I got to play for my dad for maybe 1 year, and it was, even though it was only 1 year, it was really rewarding in high school to do that. So the opportunity to possibly coach my kids is something that's exciting to me down the road, even though that's down the road. Um, but more so, if you have consistent messaging um, and structure, I think that tends to kids thrive in areas where there's structure and there's discipline and there's consistent messaging. And so they seem to feel more at peace and at home with who you are as a person and whatnot. So that's kind of how I focus on it. I remember I was listening to a podcast the other day and they said the highest form of mastery is simplicity, which was, it really hit home for me when I was driving, listening to that. So having a philosophy, defining that philosophy, and have a simple messaging that you hit in unique ways day in, day out, I think is the most important thing you can do with your players. It's not about having 50 million ideas. It's about, doing a small amount of things, but doing it well. And that's kind of what we're going to focus on here at Colonial Heights.
I know, obviously, before our session here, you had mentioned that you had gone out and checked out the field house this evening. Have you had a chance to meet the team yet?
Yes. So, last week I met the team. And, it's hard sometimes because, not everybody's in school because of virtual or what may be. But I started parent meetings this week. So I've met with 3 players this week, and I got another one tonight through Zoom. And so that part's always exciting to me, is starting those relationships and uh, meeting the important people in their life. That's I like that. So, um, you know, that's what we started that process. I'm kind of coaching baseball right now at Prince George, so it can be hard in the evening. Like we had 3 games scheduled this week, so I'm trying to just. I remember we played Dinwiddie in baseball the other day, and the game ended at 8, and I did a interview in my baseball Zoom meeting in my baseball uniform in my office about 25 minutes later. So you just kind of, the way it is schedule is right now, you just make it happen when when it can happen. But it's, over time, I'm trying to meet with as many people as possible, and that's important for me, is to get my face out there, and I want to meet with people, and it's important to me not only for developing relationships, but I want people to understand what our program is about, so they can feel comfortable and telling and that their son can play football for us, or also help us in recruiting, because you never know who can help you get a player out. And so if I can get my face out there to in Colonial Heights, and they understand what our program is about, and that helps us get another player, that's well worth it.
And what has the reception been like since you were named head coach from the players?
You know, it, it, fine. I mean, I haven't had, nobody's booing me when I got introduced or anything yet. So, I mean, Normally I'm sure most of these things it's usually a positive interaction, and then you kind of learn about your relationship though through adversity. You don't this is the honeymoon phase, so everything is going swimmingly right now. Hold on a second.
Sure.
Everything is going swimmingly right now, but you learn about your relationships through hard times and adversity is going to come. So, but understanding that that's not a bad thing, it's just an opportunity for us to learn about each other and grow. And so that part is what I get excited about, thinking about how we grow and develop and get better on a day in day out basis. So right now it's going well, and there'll be opportunities for them for adversity, and then we all have to show what our character's about during those times.
For those who did not see your coaching style at Amelia, how would you describe your coaching style on the field?
From a playing style, we're probably more like what an NFL team would look like as opposed to college football. So, if you think of high school football now, a lot of, you know, four wide, 10 personnel, spread offense, or 11 personnel football. We're more what an NFL 49ers, Rams kind of look like, where we're going to have a running game under center. We're going to be major in play action. We're going to throw the ball, but we're going to have defined concepts where we're throwing on time, and we really stress that. And so it's more of a pro style offense. We have one running back, we're a one back offense, and we'll play with either two tight ends and two receivers, or one tight end and three receivers. But that's kind of how we've run our offense over years, and try to fit that. The one thing I always liked about that offense is that we not only because we know it, but it fits multiple types of players. So we feel like, because we know it, we have a good feel for who would thrive in certain positions. So for example, we had big tight ends and traditional tight ends like this year at Prince George, and we had more of the wide receiver type tight ends at Amelia, and the offense worked fine. So we've kind of learned how to fit athletes into those positions, and with that offense. Defensively, I more of aggressive mindset. You know, I've done some odd front, and they were an even front defense, and probably try to merge a little bit of both of those concepts into what our defense will look like in the future at Colonial Heights. They were kind of an even front defense. They've done some odd front stuff, and when I was a defensive coordinator, I've done some odd front stuff, a little more aggressive, a lot of blitzing, run stunts, that type of thing. Try to give offenses different looks on pass downs and third downs, and give them kind of some exotic looks. So that's kind of what we'll do, and then really a heavy emphasis on special teams. Really want to focus on making that a true 1/3 of not only the game but our practice time, and getting better at special teams. And but as far as year one, what the most important thing that our team will look like is hopefully that we play hard. We focus on that. Yeah, that's a huge focus area for us, probably more so than most teams. We grade effort on like a daily basis, and to me, year one, that's one of the most important things, is to get our players to play hard and to understand that they can play harder. And listen a lot what Bronco Mendenhall said when he took over at UVA. A lot of that kind of stuck with me, because it hit home. What we were trying to do is just get our kids to play harder than anybody else who was playing. And so that's a huge focus for us. And it's going to take a lot of effort on the players, because I don't know if the players will fully understand what it's going to look like until they hit that field. But because you really have to improve their will and their capacity not to give up on themselves. So,
in commenting, you're referencing year one. Have you began? I mean, obviously you're coaching baseball, but have you let your mind start to formulate a goal or an expectation for your first season?
I tend to focus on process, not results. Um, so I don't have a goal in mind or results. We'll be good when we're ready to be good. It's more of what does this operation look like on a day-to-day basis? Um, how hard are we playing and practicing on a day-to-day basis? Um, are we living up to our core values? Are we having a positive attitude at practice? Are we sacrificing for our teammates? Are we competing at everything we do? If we're living our core values and we're playing really hard at practice in the game, then it's going to happen a lot sooner um, than anybody can predict. It's just when it happens, it happens. It's just a process. But I enjoyed that part of it. Um, the results sometimes get in the way. The practices are like the fun part for me as coaching is because that's where the growth happens. And that journey of starting a relationship and seeing them gradually improve and hit walls and then break through that wall and get better. That part is the fun part of coaching to me. Um, we get judged on the results and we understand that as coaches, but the day-to-day process stuff for me is really what I enjoy about coaching. Um, um, so I don't have any year one expectations. For one, because I haven't even been on the field with the players yet, so they even know what I've seen film, but having seen them in person, it'd be hard for me to even give an expectation. So,
Sure, absolutely understandable. Well, Coach, I appreciate it. I'll look forward to seeing what Colonial Heights looks like this year. I've never been to a Colonial Heights game, so maybe this will have to be the year I get down there and check you guys out.
well, we definitely you need to come down there. It's a pretty city, and it's really cool, unique city because you're a short drive to anywhere. So I think half our players probably can bike to the football field because it's kind of unique. So definitely come on out and watch us play. We'd love to have you.
Well, I appreciate it, and I thank you for the interview, Coach.
All right, thank you. You take care.
You too, sir.